G'day Paleo fans and welcome to the first episode of Paleo Bios. In today's episode we look at by far the most infamous creature from 65 million years ago, the Tyrant Lizard King himself, Tyrannosaurus Rex. Tyrannosaurus Rex was first discovered in 1902 by an American paleontologist Barnum Brown. Brown, who would later be known as Mr. Bones, discovered the first partial skeleton of a Tyrannosaurus Rex in the Montana portion of the Hell Creek Formation. Even though the Tyrannosaurus was discovered by Brown, it was a man by the name of Henry Fairfield Osborn, who was president of the American Museum of Natural History at the time, who named the creature Tyrannosaurus Rex in 1905. The name Tyrannosaurus Rex is a mixture of Greek and Latin, which come to mean Tyrant Lizard King. Since its discovery in 1902, approximately 30 incomplete T-Rex fossils have been discovered, along with 2 isolated footprints and coprolite. Tyrannosaurus has been found in several parts of North America, from Montana, Utah, Texas and Wyoming, to countries such as Canada and even Mongolia. The most complete Tyrannosaurus skeleton ever found is a Rex that goes by the name of Sue. Sue was discovered on the 12th of August 1990 in South Dakota by famed fossil hunter Susan Hendrickson. Over 90% of her skeleton was recovered and can be found on display in the Field Museum in Chicago. Tyrannosaurus Rex was a carnivorous theropod that is believed to have lived somewhere between 80 and 65 million years ago during the late Cretaceous period. This was towards the end of the Mesozoic era, also known as the Age of Reptiles. While Tyrannosaurus is not actually the largest carnivorous dinosaur of all time, that honor goes to Spinosaurus, Tyrannosaurus was a beast of gargantuan proportions to say the least. Standing up to an impressive 6.1 meters tall and over 12 meters long, this behemoth is believed to have weighed in excess of 8.8 metric tons. That's over 18,500 pounds. With great size comes great power, and Tyrannosaurus had a ton of it. Its massive head contained as many as 60 serrated conical-shaped teeth that measured over 15 centimeters long. And according to a study conducted by biomechanics expert Carl Bates and paleontologist Peter Falkingham, T-Rex could generate a bite force of over 5.8 tons. That's the equivalent of being crushed under the combined weight of 3 average-sized cars. With that huge jaw and enormous crushing power, T-Rex could bite off more than 220 kilos of flesh in a single bite. Not only were its jaws incredibly powerful, but also were its legs. Being able to move its 8-ton bulk up to speeds of over 40 kilometers an hour.
Must go faster.
However, this was more of a long stride as T-Rex couldn't actually run. Now let's talk about those infamous arms. Even though its arms were hilariously small compared to the rest of its body, they were surprisingly powerful. They would have been capable of lifting over 195 kilos. So, just what were they used for? Well, we aren't 100% sure, but some of the theories out there that they could have used their arms during mating to help the males hold on to the females. Other theories are that they use them to help get back on their feet if they're ever knocked down, and that maybe they use their clawed fingers to hold on to squirming prey while preparing to deliver the killing bite, or even to scratch prey items if they got too close. So just what did this massive monster of death eat? Well, as mentioned before, Tyrannosaurus Rex was a carnivore, meaning that they only ate meat. So which dinosaurs did Tyrannosaurus eat? Well, he probably munched down on any creature that he could have got his massive jaws onto, but primarily Tyrannosaurus fed on Triceratops and Edmontosaurus. But believe it or not, Tyrannosaurus Rex also fed on other Tyrannosaurus. That's right, the great Tyrannosaurus Rex, the king himself, was a cannibal. According to a 2010 study, by observing the bite marks found on a large number of Tyrannosaurus skeletons, it was found that the bites had been made by other Tyrannosaurus. So cannibalism appears to have been a common behavior in Tyrannosaurus. However, it is uncertain whether they killed each other for food or just scavenged on each other. Also, arguments about whether or not the dinosaur was actually a hunter or a scavenger have gone on for years, but a large bulk of evidence points to Tyrannosaurus being a predator and not actually a scavenger. Not only did T-Rex have massive jaws, but they also had a keen sense of smell, excellent hearing, and very acute vision. In fact, T-Rex had some of the largest eyeballs of any land animal, about the size of oranges. Their eyes also faced forward, much like a hawk's, and were spread further apart on its face, further than most other dinosaur eyes. So from having bird-like vision, and with dinosaurs famously being descendants of birds, did Tyrannosaurus have scaly skin, or was he actually feathered? Well, a popular belief is that Tyrannosaurus did have feathers of sorts. Unlike modern-day birds, it is believed that Tyrannosaurus may have had a primitive downy-like feathers down its head and along its back and tail. However, we have no evidence that actually supports this belief. So why do so many people believe this if there has been no fossil evidence of Tyrannosaurus ever being feathered? Well, it's most likely because of fossils found from a non-directly related cousin called Eutyrannus. This dinosaur was a very large theropod, much like the Tyrannosaurus, whose fossils had feather impressions on the tail, pelvis, neck and upper arms, proof that some theropods did indeed have feathers. However, all skin impressions of Tyrannosaurus that were discovered show scales in areas where feathers of Eutyrannus were found, indicating that Tyrannosaurus did not actually have feathers that we know of. Juvenile Tyrannosaurus, on the other hand, may have actually been born with a coat of downy feathers. Tyrannosaurus hatchlings were about the size of very skinny turkeys, and their arms were actually longer in proportions to their bodies than the adults. Now you would think that, like birds, the babies grow up very quickly into adults. However, according to paleontologist Mark Norrell, even though they would gain at least 3 kilos every day for 13 years, it would still take at least 20 years for the juvenile to become fully grown adults. Now, even though it took Tyrannosaurus 20 years to fully grow, it is believed that they only lived on average for about 30 years. The Tyrannosaurus named Sue is believed to have been 28 years old when she died. So if it took juvenile Tyrannosaurus 20 years to become adults, we should pose a question: did the parents look after the babies? Well, unfortunately, we don't know. The truth is that there hasn't actually been a single Tyrannosaurus egg discovered, let alone a nest. So as there is so little fossil evidence to go off, we simply don't know if Tyrannosaurus looked after their young or not. However, by looking at the parenting behaviour of modern-day birds, we can assume that Tyrannosaurus did look after their young, or at least their eggs for a time. Now, even though we look to modern-day birds to help hypothesize about possible dinosaur behaviours, it is important to note that modern-day birds, such as ostriches and chickens, are not the direct descendants of Tyrannosaurus, but instead share a common ancestor. So they are related, just not directly. By the way, did you know that Tyrannosaurus actually suffered from gout? According to a report in the journal Nature in 1997, a team led by Bruce M. Rothschild of the Arthritis Center of Northeast Ohio found that our favorite T-Rex Sue had in fact suffered with the disease in the finger bones of its right hand. While examining the cast of the fossilized finger bones, Rothschild found bubbles in the cast that were indications of gout lesions. As well as gout, it is believed that Tyrannosaurus also suffered from a disease called trichomoniasis, which is believed to have killed Sue. Trichomoniasis is caused by a single-celled parasite which caused painful lesions on the head and throat, making it difficult for Tyrannosaurus to eat, and eventually leading it to starve to death. Interestingly, the disease is also found in modern-day birds. These findings help strengthen the connections that research already suggests exist between dinosaurs and birds, with birds inheriting a similar or even the same parasite from their distant ancestors. However, it was not a parasite, constant battles to the death, or global cases of severe gout that brought these kings to the end of their reign. It was something far more catastrophic. 65 million years ago, an asteroid, approximately 10 kilometers in length, crashed into the Yucatan Peninsula off the coast of Mexico with the explosive power of 100 trillion tons of TNT. That's more than 1 billion times more powerful than the atomic bombs dropped on Japan in 1945, and left a crater over 180 kilometers in diameter. This sparked the Cretaceous Tertiary, or KT extinction, during which more than 75% of life on land and in the sea died out, including the mighty Tyrannosaurus Rex. For all its power and glory, the Tyrant Lizard King was no match for the cataclysmic forces of nature. Well, that just about does it for us here at PaleoBios. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. And if you have any suggestions on what creatures you would like us to look at next time, please let us know in the comments below. Also, if you have any paleo artworks that you would like shown in our videos, please feel free to send us your artworks with your name, and we might just be able to feature them in our next video. Well, that's it from us, so have a great day and we'll see you next time.